All right, guys. Hey, what's up? It's the Studying Brew. It is episode 1115. 1115. Yes, that's it. And guys, it is me by myself today. And who am I? I'm Brandi. I am not the one who runs the background of KonaButterflyz. Apparently, according to Andy, I am the one that you guys all wait for. But no, in all seriousness, I do have the licenses that we teach. I have the series, I have the SIE, well, sort of the 6, the 63, the 26, the 65, and the series 7. And honestly, guys, look, I struggled with my first exams, didn't know what I was doing, no idea. But then it took a couple, maybe a few little failures to come back, create a program that actually helps everybody pass. Got my 65, knocked the first try, knocked out my 26 2 weeks later. And then about a few months later, knocked out my series 7 on the first try. So that is what we're showing you today. That is what we're showing you. We are showing you guys how to get the pass notices. Look, guys, look, I'm going to be real with you. Yes, there is content. That is a piece of the puzzle, right? But if we don't know how to look at our quizzes, if we don't know what we're looking at or how to use them to the best of our ability, we're still going to struggle. And so what we do on the Studying Brew, or 30 minutes of free, is that we show you guys some test taking hacks, some test taking techniques, some different ways to look at these questions, so that way you can use these, give yourself that little edge, give yourself that bump, 5, 10, maybe sometimes 15% bump added with that content. Get that pass notice, right? All right, guys, let's get started. Now, I do have to say something. Earlier today, I was talking to a group, and I mentioned this. Every once in a while, guys, we got to look back at our journeys. We got to do some self-reflection, right? We got to really look at what's going on. Some of us, our scores stay stagnant. They're like right there. Like I'm can't get out of the 50s. I can't get out of the 60s. So we got to take a look at what we're doing. Maybe you realize you look back and you're probably not as consistent as you should be. Maybe you're not as disciplined as you should be. Maybe you're not working on it every single day. Yes, every single day. Maybe you're not. And you have to take a look at that. And you know what, guys? Fix it. It's easy. It's easy to do. Just fix it. That's what's wrong. Fix it, right? But then there's some of us, we're like, man, no, Brandi, I'm putting in the work. I'm doing what you coach us on. I'm doing exactly that. And you know what? My scores are still stagnant. So then you know what? You got to look at what's going on. Are we finding connections? Are we going back and doing why wrong? Are we doing everything that we can to boost those scores, even if it's different than what somebody else in your office is doing? You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Can be fixed. Everything about studying can be fixed. Don't limit yourself. Can be fixed, right? So let's get started. Oh, I'm so excited. Let's get started on it tonight. It's funny. I'm by myself. So I'm like doing the stuff I would normally do if I was like in my live sessions with our members. So that's funny. But all right, let's go, guys. Let's get started. Share my screen. And I'm going to put in the chats already. Boom. Oops. Put in the chat all my links. All right, guys. So like I mentioned, this is our 30 minutes of free, maybe even a little shorter tonight, but this is our this is our commercial, just to show you guys what we have, what we offer, everything about our program. And look, content is content. Content should be universal. It shouldn't matter who's teaching it, though. I must say, guys, I do teach it in a way to help you pass. We show you guys a system. Here's the thing. We like to show you guys a system on, let's see, how to study as an adult, right? How to navigate a busy lifestyle and still study. We show you guys some test taking skills, some test taking techniques. We show you guys all of these things, so that way you can apply these techniques and all of these strategies to every type of multiple choice exam that you may encounter in financial services, in any other type of profession. Guys, we've had people come back to us and say, you know what? I was so inspired. I actually went back and got my bachelor's. I got my master's degree. hey, I've been watching your TikToks, and you know what? I use this on my medical exams. I'm telling you guys, these are universal test taking techniques. So what do we offer, guys, in our membership? Our course videos, guys, you can do this on your time. This is all on your time. When you've got free time, you should study, right? Knock it out. Some videos, we've got study guides, we've got all these things. During our live sessions, though, guys, we show you how to apply the content in a multiple choice setting. Let me tell you, I'm not just rehashing out content. I'm not going over content the same, same as our videos. I'm not going over content as same as our short videos. I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm coming up with different ways and different strategies to work those keyword connections. So that way you could take the content from a book and apply it to a multiple choice question, right? And then we also do small group tutoring. I'm opening up my schedule a little bit for some one-on-one tutoring, subject to availability, and then a daily accountability. As Andy likes to say, the more you want to see of me, the more you got to pay. Right? The more you see of me, the more you got to pay. But honestly, guys, there's our membership right there. It is a monthly membership thing. It's awesome. You get access to everything plus our replays. We also have some books for sale that work with the program, but you can also buy them on their own. They're meant to stand alone, or they're meant to work with the program. SIE 6 and 63, 65, Series 26. Look, the SIE and the 65, they're super interactive. What that means is that if you keep it digital, guess what? There's a link to short videos on that topic you just read. Yep. Super awesome. And they're my videos. And then also for free, guys, we have this Kona community. This is our free Discord, right? So you guys can just scan the link, scan the QR code, hit the links, and join our Discord. It doesn't matter if you're a member, it doesn't matter. You become part of the Kona family, and you are joining a group of people who are studying just like you. And it's free. You guys can post your accountability. You guys can post up some questions. You guys can ask, hey, I'm really struggling with options. Anybody have any tips and tricks on that stuff? Do that. We also want to start getting some study groups up on there through Discord. Fun. Doesn't matter. East Coast, West Coast, join in, right? Our phone number is 951-290-3077. Call or text. The person who does answer that, though, is my second half over here. He is on the road, so if he doesn't get back to you right away, I promise you he will get back, and if he can't, he'll tell me to get back to you. So you could leave a message, you can text, he'll get back to you guys as soon as can, or you guys can email us at KonaButterflyz@gmail.com. And also check out our Instagram. We can also communicate through there. Check out our Instagram. On there we got some videos, but also we have all of our pastors highlighted, and it's a way for you guys to see these are how they did it. So if you guys open up a picture, you guys look at the caption, it tells you how they passed, how they took advantage of our system, but also how they passed for themselves, right? Might help you guys out. Now, coming up, we have a full schedule tomorrow, or almost a full schedule tomorrow. We have the SIE live. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I don't know. It's one of those times where it's like, man, what sounds exciting to talk about? That's what we'll talk about on the 65. It's kind of the same thing. I'm going to kind of go through our material. I'm going to say, you know what? I haven't talked about this in a minute. That's what we're going to talk about. I promise, though, it's going to be worth it. Then right after all those two sessions, we have the Kona Study Hall. That's where you study independently, but I'm here. So if you guys have a question, you guys just want some company, you got me, right? I do have to not have small group tomorrow, but we will be bringing that back next week. And of course, at nights, same time as right now, we are doing our studying brew. All right. Awesome. Okay. So I was trying to kick around, what are we going to do tonight? And I said, you know what? We are going to do some test taking techniques, right? It's Wednesday. It's Wildcard Wednesday. It's kind of like, what do we want to talk about? I decided let's do some more test taking techniques, but I'm going to put a slightly different spin on it. So on Monday nights on the Studying Brew, what we do is we do the Kona catchphrase, right? Where I want you guys to participate in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, participate like it's, I don't know, Blue's Clues or something. And I want you to participate. What words are you seeing that stand out? Right? Both vocabulary and non-vocabulary. But on the Mondays, we practice it with no securities vocabulary, right? Then on Tuesday, we really focus on the test taking hacks, where we don't even, most of the time, we're not even looking at words, right? We're real, we're looking for the patterns, the two that are similar, the two that are opposite, one that's different, one that says must, only, never, always, the one that has the number, all of these things, right? So that's what we do on Tuesdays. Tonight, I decided let's combine both of those, maybe add a little bit of content. But for the most part, we're going to try to play these techniques. We're going to try to use our common sense. We're going to try to find keyword connections and these test taking techniques. But the spin is that, guys, I opened up a quiz. It was a quiz that I had started yesterday, and I pulled number 10, number 11, number 12. So you guys are actually going to see that these are just the next 6 questions. Just the next 6 questions in a question bank. And we are going to practice it as if it's a live quiz. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to rely on not securities content first, and then we're going to apply securities content. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of Monday, a little bit of Tuesday. It's going to be super fun. See, look, that's it. Right? Yes. So excited. I love it when you guys are excited. Let's participate in the chat. So answers first, always, right? The ask plus the bid, the total commission, the ask minus the bid. None of these. Just like somebody said in the chat, A and C are opposite of each other, right? A and C are opposite. Boom. Opposite. Guys, that's that test taking hack right there. Most of the time when you see 2 that are opposite or 2 that are similar, I'm going to see probably 95, 96, 97, 98% of the time, the answer will probably be one of those. Okay. Now, ask plus the bid, ask minus the bid. Can anybody that maybe has been studying for a second, which one sounds the most familiar? The one with the plus sign? Oops. The one with the plus sign or the one with the subtract sign? Heard of C? I got a C and I got a heard of C. Do you guys hear that? Heard of C. That's exactly that. I heard of it. It goes with the technique, and it was the answer. And we still haven't even looked at the question. So just for giggles, let's look at the question. It says the spread a dealer makes is best described as. A lot of times, guys, when we see that question, you know what we're doing? You know what we're doing? We're going like this. Man, what is that? Is that what a dealer makes? I don't know. But let's think about it this way, right? Just playing the keyword game. Spread, that's the difference of something, right? That's the spread is in the middle, right? You make peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly is the spread, right? I don't know why, guys, we always bring it back to food, huh? Like every time, like every night, it's always food. Yeah. Yeah, see? But so you guys see how it could be the difference, the minus. Dude, is PB&J like a popular thing? I had one yesterday. I'm just saying. 2 people in the chat said they had one today. All right. We digress. We move on. All right. The customer must choose to round up or down. What? I don't think I've ever kind of heard of that. 531 with a refund of 26.48. Kind of really never heard of that in securities world. 532 with an additional demand of 48.93. What? Or then D is just straight up 531,350. Right? It's like I look at D and I'm like, I think this is the most simple. It's the most basic. There's no, what do I want to say? There's no conditions on D. There's no, yeah, buts. There's no, well, dude, pay what you got and get what you can. Oh, that was beautiful. Pay what you got and get what you can. And you know what? And somebody else in the chat put, it's the only answer that has just a straight number. A condition you must choose, right? Refund, additional demands. Boom. And look, now we could look at this. And a lot of people would have looked at this and went, I don't like math. I hate math. Math is not my strong point. I see numbers and I start to panic. Look at what we just did. Look at what we just did right now. For all of you math haters out there, sorry for the math person on here, but for look at this. How easy was that? It was the most simple, basic answer. We're still not even looking at content, really. We just kind of avoided the math, right? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Issuer transactions occur in the primary market and price is determined by supply and demand. There's a lot of ands in there. All U.S. exchanges are primary markets where securities are offered at public offering price. All U.S. exchanges are primary markets where price is determined by supply and demand. Or issuer transactions occur in the primary market and securities are offered at the public offering price. Well, every single answer choice, well, except for B, has an and, right? And look, I see that somebody already said that A is not true, but look, look at how we can look at this. Issuer transactions, right? And then we have all U.S. exchanges are primary markets. One of the things that I'm going to point out here is all, and this isn't an always thing. It's not like Mona, right? But if you've been studying, we know that we've heard of the primary and secondary markets, right? How many of you guys have heard that? And I'm talking about this is usually in like the first chapter. There's a primary market and a secondary market. Even if you don't know exactly what those are or the differences of the two, we've heard of the both, right? How could we have just a primary? We also have a secondary, right? So is it fair to say that all exchanges are only in the primary? Isn't that very limiting? Then where do we have the secondary? If we've heard of primary and secondary and B and C are saying all are in the primary, then where the heck do we do secondary? Doesn't make sense, right? So that's why we could cross off B and C. So now we get back to A and D. We're back to A and D being probably the most similar or the most common sense, makes sense grammatically, right? Now I have prices determined by supply and demand, which is exactly what it says, or it says offered at the public offering price. If you know nothing about securities, which one seems the most logical, the most common sense? D, right? D, simply because it says it's offered at the public offering price, offered public offering price. There's our question. And oops, I erased both of my marks right there. And there is our answer. Do you guys see what you guys just did? How awesome what you guys just did. We reasoned it out without even looking at the question, really. You guys are awesome. You guys are on fire tonight. And by the way, I purposely left the number questions so that you guys can see that I literally just pulled the next 6, right? All right. 0%. Why does it say 0%? When do we not do that? Weird. I have the prime rate, the discount rate, the federal funds rate. Does anybody know the keyword connections? Since members are prohibited from charging other members interest, it is definitely different. And I'm going to say this, I've never heard of it. An HO, never heard of it. Does anybody know what the prime rate is? If you guys have been in our content, have you got prime rate, corporations? Awesome. Bank to corp. What about our discount rate? Has anybody heard of what our discount rate is? Fed to bank. Ooh, look at you guys. Look, am I kind of telling you guys this is how people learn through using Kona content? Yes, kind of. But at the same time, I'm showing you guys, man, I wish the people watching this replay can see the the chat because you guys are on fire right now. And then the last one, federal funds rate. I think I see it already. Federal funds rate, bank to bank. Now, in a lot of people's content, these are literally paragraph or half page commentary on what each one of these are. Okay. This is what we teach. You guys ready for the question? Let's go match it up, right? Let's go match it up. Bank A wants to borrow from the Federal Reserve's bank window. From the Fed to a bank. From a Fed to a bank. Which one matches? C. Do we care that it says window? Does it care? Do we care about what would be the interest rate on this loan? Or do we just focus on the very short keyword connections? Boom. Very, very simple key connections. Look, I would love to say, Brandi, isn't this just memorizing? Like, isn't this just memorizing? I feel like it goes a slight deeper than just memorizing. You're connecting. You're making, it's like Andy's called it before, an adult connect the dots. Right? We connect. We're finding connections. Okay. The representative may send a fax regarding future recommendations. Dude, who does faxes? The representative may never make cold calls again. So we got may. It's a great one, right? May never. A principal of the firm may call the prospect the next time. Or no calls may be made to the prospect by anyone at the firm. So may's not really a strong one, right? Because may is in every answer choice. We can tell that B is probably true or not true because of the never. We can never make cold calls again. Like, that's pretty messed up, right? So that's probably not true. I mean, what about the fax? How many of us have fax machines at home? Doesn't it just make you laugh? It may send a fax. Like, that makes me like laugh. I don't think that's probably an answer. Right? Yeah, it's far-fetched. Exactly. So let's look at the question and let's make a link. Okay. Let's look at a question, make the link. Ooh, that's a really long question, right? Is it though? Let's scan it. We're looking for if a principal can call or if no calls can be made to this person, right? I like D as well, but I don't want to jump to the conclusion, right? An individual is solicited with a cold call made by a registered rep. He tells the rep that he is not interested in this investment or in making any future recommendations. Which of the following, or I'm sorry, any future investments? Which of the following actions is required by the Telephone Consumer Protection Act of 1991? He's basically saying, please don't call me. Doesn't matter who's making the call. Just please don't call me. I'm out. Right? Do not call. Exactly. But never make cold calls? Come on. That's kind of harsh. All right. Lead underwriter, issuing corporation, both underwriters and issuing corporation, or the underwriting group. Now we do have the and, right? I did see that this is just the corporation. That's an underwriter, and an underwriting group, right? Just so you guys see, just our quick observations, right? Anything standing out to anybody besides the and? B? Oh, you guys like B? B stands out. I don't like, maybe you don't even know why, but B stands out, right? Let's look at the question. Let's see if our hunch hunch connects. An underwriting group is currently assisting an issuer with the preparation and filing of a registration statement for a new issue. Who is responsible for the accuracy of the information? Who is responsible for the accuracy of the information within the registration statement? If you were filling out a loan application, whose responsibility is to make sure that it's correct? You or the bank? If you are asking for money, like, hey, you know what? I'm a business owner. I want to share part of my business with you. Who's responsible for the accurate information? Me, right? Or you, right? Whoever's business it is. So why would it be on the underwriting group to make sure that they're responsible for the accurate information in this particular case? They can only do with what the issuer tells them, correct? So that responsibility for the accuracy is on the issuer, not on the underwriting group, because they can only, or the underwriter, they're assisting the issuer. Hey, so how much money did you make? What are you doing with the proceeds? What's the background of your, do you guys see what I'm saying? They're asking the questions, they're helping them gather the information. But at the end of the day, it's up to the issuer to make sure that they give the right information. I want everybody watching this replay to pat yourself on the back. You just answered 6 securities questions, whether you were in a deep dive on conversation of content or not. We went with what sounded familiar. We went with our common sense. We went with that doesn't even grammatically make sense. Do you guys see what we just did there? 6 questions, this much content, 5 right. Somebody just told me that she got 5 right. 5 right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you guys see the power of what we do on Mondays and what we do on Tuesdays? We reinforce it on Wednesdays. We reinforce it on Thursdays. Does that make sense? And that's just what we do for free. Can you guys imagine you're part of the program? Just saying, right? All right. On that note, I hope everybody has an amazing, amazing evening. Andy's not on me. I always butcher it. I hear this thing every night. I've heard this thing 1,115 times, but I still butcher it. So wash your hands, don't touch your face, don't touch your friend's face. I hope everybody has, or I don't even know why. I don't even know why I try. But anyways, guys, please take care of yourselves. Please stay positive. Keep that PMA. We will see you guys tomorrow. We will see you guys. We'll see members tomorrow. We'll see everybody tomorrow night for the last studying brew of the week. Hope you guys all have a great evening. Take care, guys.